Happy New Year, podcast listeners. Welcome to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight Podcast, presented by CVG. I'm your host, Sarah Brookbank. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year. I hope you are ready to get back to business now in 2023. Today on the podcast, we are joined by Tonya Bolton of Tonya Bolton Photography. And on NKY at Work, Nancy Spivey will be joined by David No of Payroll Partners. It's an exciting episode, so stay tuned to hear from those guests. Thank you to our podcast sponsors, CVG, our title sponsor, C-Crew Consulting, our digital sponsor, and our episode sponsor, Haran. Later this week, our HR 100 committee is hosting Gathering and Using Employee Feedback through Exit and Stay interviews. This event will be hosted at the Northern Kentucky Chamber on Wednesday, January 11th at 8 a.m. Join us for this session as two HR professionals share insights into the employee exit and stay interview process, including how to capture and evaluate the right data to drive positive change in your work culture. Also, coming up next week, the Chamber is hosting our Croatia International Trip informational session. This will be hosted on Tuesday, January 24th at 5:30 p.m. at the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce. Ian Scott, president of Aventura World Travel, will provide an overview of what will no doubt be an amazing trip to Croatia in October of this year. You can register and get more information for both of those events at nkychamber.com/events. Now, let's go hear from our sponsors, meet our members of the week, and Nancy and I will be back here with your guests.
CVG Airport is the lowest fare airport in the tri-state region with 54 nonstop flights and direct international service to 7 destinations, including Paris, France, and now home to both DHL's and Amazon's global cargo hubs. The airport is furthering its position as leader in aviation and is deeply committed to being an economic driver for the community. You can learn more and start your next adventure at cvgairport.com.
Ranking on Google Search and Maps is easy to understand, but hard to do. It requires constant effort and attention, uploading new photos, responding to Google reviews, writing weekly posts, and checking suggested updates. Google listing optimization takes experience and time, and there are no shortcuts. C-Crew gives your Google My Business account the steady, consistent attention it needs to be effective, optimizing, updating, and expanding critical content every single week. From local retail stores to large regional networks, C-Crew generates content, establishes benchmarks, and creates dramatic, measurable increases in engagement. So what can C-Crew do for your business? More calls, more clicks, more clients.
Congratulations to our members of the week. You can learn more about these businesses by following the Northern Kentucky Chamber on social media, where we will highlight one of these businesses each day. Now, let's meet our members of the week. Fairfield Inn & Suites, Cincinnati Airport South, Florence, offers a prime location to explore Northern Kentucky and Cincinnati's premier attractions. Moss Performing Arts Academy is the first and only all-inclusive studio in the Northern Kentucky greater Cincinnati area that offers classes in acting, dance, theater, and more. Sombrero is a Mexican-inspired quick-serve restaurant that aims to be a little healthier and fresher than the competition. Blue North is the front door for entrepreneurship in Northern Kentucky, tipping the scales in favor of brilliant, hardworking folks looking to create and grow businesses. Delightful Days is a recreational vehicle dealer, providing sales, service, and parts on travel trailers, pop-ups, and more. Bridge Trust Title Group is a nationwide commercial and residential title and escrow service provider that works to offer the best options for their clients. We Rock the Spectrum is a sensory gym for all kids and abilities located in Northern Kentucky. GoGoMeds.com is a cloud-based pharmaceutical company located in Southgate, using technology to fill prescription medications for customers and their pets. BJ Novelty Inc. is a family-owned provider of on-premises entertainment that keeps players coming back for more. Trinity In-Home Care is a non-medical home care company that assists older adults in their home setting with their daily activities.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. Today, I'm joined by Tonya Bolton of Tonya Bolton Photography, and we are going to talk all things photos and getting portraits done and all sorts of stuff. So, Tonya, thank you for joining the podcast today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about you and your business.
Okay, so I have been in business for just a little over 10 years. I started, like a lot of people do, as mom with a camera. My husband got me a it was really a gag gift that he got me a camera way back when. And I was supposed to be getting some jewelry. I've told this story a million times. People hear it all the time. And this was my gift that he gave me, and I was supposed to pretend that I liked it because I knew, I wasn't getting the jewelry I thought I was supposed to get. Well, anyway, long story short, I got the jewelry, but I started using that camera, and I got married in the fall, so of course it was fall time, and you know how beautiful it is, pictures in the fall. And I got this one picture of my 2-year-old little boy, and it completely captured his personality, and that one picture just got me, and I was hooked ever since.
That is awesome.
So that's how I got started liking photography. And then I did pictures all the time of my friends or my family. They would ask me to do their pictures. And so I got the chance when I was 36 to go back to school for a career. And I decided to go for it with photography. And that's how I did that.
Yeah, and that is awesome. And so you've been in business for 10 years.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about what you do and the services you offer professionally now.
Okay. So I'm known for my senior portraits. That makes up a ton of my work. I also do family portraits because my seniors, obviously, their moms and dads, we get to be friends. And so They want me to do their family pictures, and that's fine. I also work with professionals who want to, they're very serious about their image online, and they want to have pictures that convey that. They want to look like leaders in their industry or look as confident as they are. So I always say I work with 2 types of clients. One type is the person who needs a confidence boost, and that's what my photo shoots, that's what my objective is on all of my photo shoots. And then I work with the client who is confident, but their pictures don't show it. So they need those images for branding, for online content, things like that.
Yeah, that is very cool. Your professional headshots are a little bit different.
Yes.
Because you work with those 2 types of clients. So tell us a little bit for our podcast listeners and viewers who are maybe interested in upgrading their headshots. Tell us about that process and what it's like.
Okay, so I mean, it's so different than just a typical headshot. I mean, headshots these days, the traditional ones, you just want to get a quick shot for LinkedIn or something. Those are what I call the traditional boring headshots. Sometimes we need those, and that's okay. And so I do offer that. But what I love to do are branding sessions. And what this is, it's really a full-on session. You're not just going to get the headshot. You're going to get the medium shot, the full body shot. You're going to get to change outfits. Especially for women, that's a big deal because they usually have different sides of their personality that they want to show off. Especially if they're small business owners. They need that content to show their true personalities on social media. And so that all of those different images give them that content to use for future and make, little kind of graphics and things just about their business, things like that. Men too, though, there are some men who like to do an outfit change. They'll do one in a suit and then they'll do one in a more casual outfit. So I really like doing those because it does set you apart from everybody else because not a lot of people do it that way. And it's always just that boring, square right here.
Yeah.
So.
As somebody in social media, I know when somebody has done one of those like branded photo shoots because you can just see across their platforms just like the cohesiveness that is so nice to present as a package. So it's fun that you get to be the behind the scenes person.
Yes.
I'm typically seeing it once it's all done and posted on social. But one of the other things that you do that I think is really fun, you say that when you work with people who maybe aren't, getting their photographs done very regularly, you want them to be comfortable. Tell us how you do that.
It's usually 100% of the people. Everybody tells me that. They don't like themselves in pictures. They're not comfortable. They don't know how to pose, things like that. With me, I being a full-time photographer, I have been able to learn how to pose all body styles so that they are flattering for the camera. And that's, most of us don't know how to move and sit or, pose in front of a camera. So that's why you really want to hire the person that knows how to do those things because that's going to bring out your best features and it's going to make you happy in the end when you see the pictures of yourself. And that's what I always tell people. I always say, I'll make the best picture you've ever seen of yourself. And that usually is the case because of the fact that I'm able to do that. And I even teach posing at conferences when I go for teaching people about my senior portraits. That's one of the classes that I teach is how to pose. So it's very, very important. Of course, lighting is important as well. But posing is a really big thing. If your photographer doesn't know how to pose, you're more than likely not going to like the pictures, even though a professional took them.
Yeah.
So that is something very important to ask and look in your photographer's pictures to see what are their poses like. Does the client look comfortable?
Yeah.
If they don't, they probably aren't being guided well.
Yeah, especially you think senior photos are something that like so many people do, and then maybe people, get a family portrait done. And then they have like wedding photos. A lot of people aren't getting a lot of professional photos done like every year.
Right.
You'll have like Christmas minis or things like that. So I think that is very valuable that you work with that with your clients. One of the things you touched on is that you do education and mentoring, which I think is really cool. Can you tell our listeners and viewers a little bit about that?
Okay, so like I mentioned before, I teach at conferences about senior pictures. I also, just because that's what I'm known for. I mean, that's the biggest bulk of my business. I love working with teens. So my objective, like I said before, on every shoot is to make the girls and the guys feel very confident and feel good about themselves by the end of that shoot. And most of them walk away with that newfound kind of an increase in self-esteem, which is very important. So that's what I try to teach others, and that's really what it's all about is the experience. It's not, it is that they want good pictures, but the biggest part is make the experience something that is very unique, very catered to them and their personality. And so when photographers learn how to do that, it really ups their business potential because not every photographer does that. It's just, a quick text on the phone or something. Yes, meet me at this park. We'll go. We'll shoot real quick. We'll be done. Email the files. That's it. That's really the bulk of the relationship there. So if you can start to go beyond that and try to work for your clients better, solve problems for them. One of the things that I teach is to meet your clients in person to kind of get to know them. It's really hard to get to know people through text.
Yeah.
There's no tone in text. So you can't really read the person's personality that way.
There are only so many emojis you can send.
I know. And I do try to utilize those when I'm texting. But that's the main thing that I teach with that. I also teach photographers how to be profitable in their business because as creatives, we're really good at the making pretty pictures part, but we're not always the greatest at the business part. And the making pretty pictures part is really like 10% of the job. So if you can't get the business part right, you're not going to make it. You probably will fizzle out very quickly and really get burned out too.
Yeah, I'm so sure, there's so many photographers out there that do such great work. That's a very important skill to have is that business side.
Yes.
And then before I let you go, tell us a little bit about what you are going to be doing in the new year. You have some exciting things coming up.
Yes, I am launching a photography education magazine, and it's called Capture. And it's going to feature work from all of the talent that we have right here in Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati photographers, just the tri-state kind of area. And there's so much talent here. Mm-hmm. And for people to be able to have this magazine, it's going to appeal to professionals, of course, but it's also going to appeal to just hobby photographers. And then also, like I used to be a mom with a camera. Every mom wants to know how to take better pictures of their children.
Right.
So it's going to target all of those people. So I'm really excited about that. Yes, it is supposed to launch in March.
Yeah,
so we will see.
That is so exciting. I'm excited to see it. I love flipping through like a magazine.
Yes, it's very important for me that it be in print.
Yeah.
There is going to be a digital option, but it's very important that it be in print. I think for art's sake, it's something that you need to be able to see in person and touch and feel. So yes, the print edition is very, very important to me.
That is very exciting. So how can people kind of stay tuned for news about Capture?
You can go to our website at capturecincinnati.org, And there's going to be a subscribe button there that is going to sign you up to get the latest news on that first edition and then whatever we have in the works for that. There's also a donate button on there if people want to contribute to the project. And I mean, there's just overall information that they can find out what we're up to, who it's going to feature. And a big point to that is that we want the people who are writing the articles, the images that are in the magazine. These are all going to be people, like I said, they're local, so they're going to be accessible to the readers. If they want to follow them on social media or ask them questions, they're going to be able to do that, which we don't really get when we're just getting like, a regular, a national magazine or something. There's no way to really get in touch with the author most of the time. So I'm hoping that that's a good feature too. Another thing that I just did want to share about that is we're going to have a section in the magazine that's going to feature a high school student who is participating in their photography magazine. So we want to be able to highlight the new up-and-coming people who might be coming into the industry out of school. And so I'm excited about that too.
Yeah, that is such a great opportunity, especially for your work that you do with so many like juniors and seniors, or I guess juniors and seniors would be kind of your audience. So it's so nice that you're able to give some of those students back an opportunity to highlight themselves in a different way.
Yes.
And Tonya, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Before I let you go, is there anything else you would like to share with our viewers and listeners today?
I don't think so. If you want to update that headshot and get some really great images for your social media, look me up. I'm at TonyaBoltonPhotography.com.
All right. Well, Tonya, thanks again.
Okay, thanks.
Hi, I'm Nancy Spivey, Vice President of Talent Strategies for the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce. And on today's Northern Kentucky at Work podcast segment, we have David No. Welcome, David.
Hi, how's it going?
Great. So tell me a little bit about you and tell me about Payroll Partners.
Yeah, so I have a long history in the HR world in the Northern Kentucky area, Cincinnati. And so we've got a payroll HR technology software available to companies from 2 to 2,000 employees is our range for the most part. And so we want to help companies consolidate, be more efficient, and use a software that's backed by UKG, which is a software developer in the payroll industry. So a lot to offer a company that wants to just become more efficient.
So it's interesting you said 2 to 2,000. That's quite a range. So
Yes.
I know a number of companies, and we represent so many small employers.
Yeah.
How do you determine, do I need a payroll company or do I do that in-house?
Yeah, that's a great question. And with HR and all the other infrastructure you need. So a lot of times if a company has a CPA, accounting firm, when they're on the smaller side, they tend to trust them to get their employees paid, right? So with our process, and we have a lot of good relationships with CPA firms, and so it's a good transition once a company is looking to grow or have more complexity to taxes and their employees working remote, working around the country, which we have a lot of employees that work in the other parts of the country with their local office here in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky. So it just comes down to what makes it easier for the company. And so we get a lot of repeat referrals and local folks that see what our system can do and make their lives easier. So.
And is Payroll Partners a local company? They're based here?
Yes, we are. We're in Fort Wright, and so we have been around for almost 20 years. The newer owner came in about 2019 and really saw the need for a local serviced payroll and HR provider. A lot of other companies in the area offer similar services, and so I was actually in my previous company. I joined Payroll Partners in July, and I was going through a transition with our software, our technology, and really finding ways to be more efficient. So I went through and kind of looked at what we were using, and a lot of systems didn't talk to each other and made it very inefficient. We used a lot of spreadsheets. We used a lot of paper. And when you're hiring people and you have managers managing those people, you want to make it as easy as possible with technology available, right? So we've made it very efficient for a company to use our platform to recruit, to hire, onboard, and basically manage employees in the system with one login. So that's where I was before I came on Payroll Partners, and they were one of my finalists to implement with my prior company, and it just did not become a priority for the entire organization. So that's kind of what led me to the company now, and it's great to talk to businesses and see what their pain points are. And with workforce being so hard right now and finding good people, we want to help them be more efficient with what we can offer.
So as we're heading into the new year, thinking about how can I, as an employer, improve my process? Is it time for me to do an audit?
Yeah.
Help me understand that.
Yeah, just like a handbook, just like anything internally, you want to do audits on your platforms as your infrastructure may be growing, or if you have to consolidate your staff, if you have other people helping in various ways from a recruiting standpoint, HR, accounting. When you're using several systems that don't talk to each other, it's just going to really waste a lot of time and be very inefficient. And I've seen it firsthand, and it's very frustrating for the managers, for HR, for accounting, to use several systems that don't interact with each other. So from a technology standpoint, if you can consolidate 5 systems into 1 or 2, it's a great time to do that, because the ongoing issues with recruiting and finding good people and retaining them, it's going to be there for a while. And some companies are being more successful than others, but the ones that are growing, and if they are going to need more people, how they do things now, it's just going to get more difficult. So if you use spreadsheets and paper and want to become paperless, we can help you with that. And it's a great time to look at it. And we can bring companies on throughout the year. It doesn't have to be January 1st.
So not only being paperless and having that efficiency there, but also time savings. I assume if you're cutting out some systems, you might even save some money, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're very competitive on the price standpoint. But again, I think our price is very comparable to anybody out there. What we offer is dedicated local service from a Northern Kentucky company. And we're right on the cut in the hill. If you look over on the way down the hill, we're on there on the left, right before you hit the cut in the hill. So we're local. And from an ongoing support standpoint, I always want to find managers that need more training, or if someone's hiring somebody new in HR, we try to be there for those first 30 days to help train them. And we don't expect our companies to train their people if they keep bringing in new talent. And it just becomes a very time-consuming process if our companies have to retrain their folks that come in. So we not only help people build the system to their internal processes and practices, but we want to tweak it and we want to train who's going to be using it, so it can just save a lot of time on their end, because they've got a job and they've got people to manage. So
that's very important, especially right now, because I do know there's so many people hiring HR support team and making sure that those people are onboarded, making sure when new people come on board, they're also trained in the new systems. So
yeah, absolutely. And too, with retention, how people handle performance reviews and making sure that you're being fair and consistent with compensation. That's another piece that I keep talking to companies and asking them how they're going to recruit in 2023, how they're going to try to retain people, but then look at the trends and their statistics. And so what's nice about our system is you can, from an applicant tracking standpoint, you can see where your good applicants are coming from. You can build reports and see how long people are staying there. So if you're very report driven, we have so many customized reports you can pull. And if people are paying out referral bonuses, you can track that. So you set it up if they're, after 90 days, if they get a referral bonus, the system can alert you to pay that. So anything that you keep track of on a spreadsheet or paper, and vacation balances, these little things to some people are very important. And if their systems and their people don't really manage it very well, then they lose trust in their companies. And so we have a system that can really help business owners and managers make their lives a whole lot easier with systems and the technology that's offered. So
great. Well, I appreciate you coming in. Anything else you want to add?
No. I think 2023 is going to be a busy year for everybody. hopefully everyone stays healthy and safe in the holidays. But definitely anybody that has questions can reach out to us, go to our website, or call us, and we can set up a demo and kind of see how it might help your company be more efficient.
Great. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shannon Schumacher, Account Executive, Kentucky Market Leader. At Haran, we champion bold innovation to help employers and individuals thrive. As an industry thought leader, we explore new horizons in healthcare, benefits, employee engagement, and wellness. We work harder to deliver all the strategic benefits, planning, and execution you expect from a true partner. And we do it with laser focus on your short and long-term outcomes to help manage your benefits while improving your employee experience.
Thank you all for tuning in to today's episode of the Northern Kentucky Spotlight Podcast presented by CVG. It was great to hear from Tonya and David and kick our year off on the right foot. Thank you to our podcast sponsors, CVG, Seeker Consulting, and Haran. Don't forget to register for HR 100, gathering and using employee feedback through exit and stay interviews, and our Croatia International Trip informational session. You can register for both of those at nkychamber.com/events. Finally, if you are a member who would like to be featured on the podcast, or if you're interested in becoming a member of the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, please reach out to Lan Ablin. Or if you're interested in sharing your workforce strategies and resources on NKY at Work, please reach out to Nancy Spivey. You can find their information on the screen in front of you or on our staff directory at nkychamber.com. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Once again, I'll talk to you next week.